Julie and Steve, take one.
Well, my mom always instilled to me to be very proud of who I was. You know, growing up in Miami, we would always get teased a lot for being Haitian. I'm not gonna lie.
You're gonna see me expose a lot of baggage that I've been holding on to for a long time. I definitely want people to just see the beauty in the country, and I feel like we don't have a good narrative, and I feel like God's blessed me with this platform. Why not go back to Haiti? And vacation doesn't only have to be about my song or moods of a Cancer, but it can be sort of like a campaign. Like, I want everybody to come to Haiti. But my mama was gone. Wow. She was like, yeah, I'm not staying here. And so that's how we ended up leaving and going to Miami. And so I didn't grow up with my dad constantly in my life. I actually went 10 years without knowing where my dad was.
I've seen a lot of comments saying, oh, so she's a liar. She's a liar. Again, y'all are fucking slow. I can't sugarcoat it. Y'all are fucking slow.
I, at the very least, do not believe that Edmund is emotionally suited for this experience. I just don't believe that. I do have an unpopular belief that he might be on the spectrum.
VVS, I just turned my water on. Big on Frax. Shit you never saw before. These niggas chasing me like waterfalls. Hey, mi gente, it's Julie and Steve. You already know my name, but if you're new here, hey. Today we're going to be talking about the one and only Jessie Woo and pretty much her controversies on any platform, because it's a lot to explain. I'm going to try my best to cover most of her controversial moments online that has contributed to her hate train as of 2025, and then we go from there. Okay, mi gente. Okay, mi gente. Okay. We are going to start now.
Right. But growing up, I grew up really, really well. And so when I would go to school and I would hear all this stuff, I'm like, Mom, do we eat cat? And she's like, well, when is the last time I cooked cat? Do you see me cooking cat here?
On July 6, 1990, Jessica Freely, known as Jessie Woo, was born in Montreal, Canada. Jessie's parents are Haitian immigrants who settled in Canada.
Hey sisters, it's the Haitian queen herself, Miss Jessie Woo, and I'm here to bless your life.
Due to her parents' separation, her mother, younger brother, and herself moved to Miami, Florida. Her mom got remarried to her stepfather, and 2 additional siblings were born. Jessie always had aspirations to become an entertainer, but her parents weren't a fan of the idea. She got her bachelor's in journalism and science and master's in global strategic communications. Jessie Woo tried to make it in the music industry in Miami. It didn't work, so she moved to New York City and put her degrees to work. She worked in a corporate job while living between her aunt and a norm. Then she got fired from her corporate job and lived off of public assistance. That's when she started to grow her platform in 2017. Now Jessie has millions of followers across her social media platforms. While Jessie Woo does make music, she is more known for being an actress, comedian, content creator, and TV personality. Jessie Woo started her main success on VH1's Love and Love and Hip Hop Miami. And on this series, they pretty much do anything related to music, entrepreneurship, acting, comedy, and pretty much shows the lifestyle of an entertainer in these fields, right? But the way they depict people on this show is in the negative light, which Jessie Woo has talked about numerous times.
Years. How was Love and Hip Hop for you?
You know, Love and Hip Hop was very interesting. But you know what?
Okay.
I before I did Love and Hip Hop, I was a journalist at BET.
BET, yes, we've seen that.
I did BET break since fall of 2017. I have a master's degree in mass communications from Florida International University. I went on to do Power Star Live with Will Packer.
Okay.
He gave me and Blogzilla, my co-host, the first Twitter show based on Black Twitter. So we were going in there like talking about a lot of things and making sure that people understood that Black people are the people who push the culture forward. I just hosted the center stage at Essence Fest.
I seen that too.
Which is very coveted. Only 3 people get to do it every year. And I haven't been in this game for a long time. So while Love and Hip Hop was a great way for me to get visibility, I think the opportunities that I've had before and afterwards have been great ways to push my talent and to push my tenacity, my intelligence, and not just show me in one realm. Gotcha. You know what I mean?
Real petty? Is it virtual petty?
How do I say this without being petty? Yeah. You know, Love and Hip Hop, I saw it as an opportunity. Okay. There were a lot of things that I was told would happen, and it just didn't unfold that way. But I think it's just like, you know how we all have that job or that relationship that we just kind of wish would just go away, and you just don't want to talk about it no more. Like that's just how it just was for me. But it was a good platform as far as, you know, I discussed a lot of things.
There were times Jessie believed that they were putting only the negative sides of what she was distributing on the show instead of the positive stuff that she was putting out there. That made her have a negative perspective on reality television, which led for her to leave indefinitely. And of course, she had issues with Mona Scott Young, which is the creator of Love and Hip Hop. But I'm not going to talk too much about that.
Like pick up the phone.
Yeah, you know what I mean? When I'm talking about Zozo and all that, you know, a lot of people know me for just making a lot of sexual jokes, a lot of, you know, just being blunt, being very, I just talk about everything.
Jessie Woo has been a Wildin Out participant since season 16, and pretty much it's a comedy sketch show where they do comedic related stuff, hence the word comedy. The creator of Wildin Out is Nick Cannon. Of course, Jessie Woo had her issues between her and Nick Cannon. Not necessarily because of Nick Cannon, more of the people that he worked with referring to her as not exotic enough to be on the show. So because of them saying that she's not exotic enough to be on the show, she wasn't on the show for a certain amount of time until she's spoken up about that situation. That's when Nick Cannon brought her back on the show, and this time she was an actual cast member who had speaking roles. She had an interesting experience on Wildin Out that I can even share more details, but I'm not going to get into it because we got to talk about specifically this Whitney Houston joke.
You have reached my line, and I'm dead.
So she made a joke on Whitney Houston, and people were having mixed reviews. On one hand, people found the joke amusing, while on the other hand, some people found it distasteful due to the matter of how Whitney Houston passed away and suffered from addiction. However, Jessie believed that she was being mainly targeted as a woman in comedy. To defend herself, she said this on Instagram. Male comedians and folks on Twitter make jokes about Whitney's battle with drugs still to this day, but me impersonating her during a voicemail game by singing her song and saying, "I'm dead," a great excuse why she cannot come to the phone, but I went too far. The show is called Wild and Out for a reason. And still, I was able to say some wild shit without picking no hanging fruit, like her history with drugs, unlike the many comedians who have for decades. I pushed the envelope, and I am proud of me. For starters, I appreciate the fact that Jessie Woo didn't back it down on her stance on the joke. That shows courage there, especially if you genuinely believe that you didn't do anything wrong. If you did offend people, which you did, and I even saw the video clip, which hopefully I'm able to include here, there were people very uncomfortable, and I think someone pressed the buzzer for a rejection. So that tells you that people weren't feeling the joke like that.
It was going so well. Oh, y'all going to hell.
So that was the moment for her to say, while I believe that the joke wasn't as bad as people thought, I'm going to sincerely apologize for whoever were offended by the joke. But of course, everybody's different when it comes to expressing themselves and genuinely apologizing. I'm one of those people. As you can see, I've talked about it a couple of times on my channel about certain things people have said about me when it comes to like my delivery and me being too blunt or me being too mean. And for the most part, I do not back down. But that's because I genuinely do not believe that I'm being mean. I feel like these individuals are just sensitive. And that's probably how Jessie Woo feels. She feels like maybe some of these people are very sensitive. They got sensitivity going on. And she's like, I'm not going to apologize if I don't genuinely mean it. And even if I believe that the joke was good, I still don't think I own an apology to make people comfortable and accepting me. So it's a tricky situation to be in. Thankfully, this didn't affect her career to some extent because I'm going to talk a bit more further on the video. Julian Steve, take 2. Jessie Woo versus Tamar Braxton. Back in 2023 and 2024, Jessie Woo and Tamar Braxton were friends and worked on Dish Nation. They had a series on that platform and they were co-hosts. Originally, they were friends. They talked amongst each other, commented on one another's pictures on Instagram or videos on Instagram. And Jessie Woo even had the opportunity to open up for Tamar on her tour. She had an Love and World tour for her 10th anniversary of that album. And it went well until it didn't. In 2024, the two of them had a fallout because of Tamar's white ex-boyfriend and or husband having issues between them two, but then Jessie Woo kind of got in the middle of it because Jessie never liked the JR, which by the way, that's his name, JR. And because of that, she talked about him a couple of times on her platform to defend Tamar, but I guess Tamar took it as an offense, even though for what Jessie alluded to was that Tamar kind of knew that she was going to talk about them for what I remember, because I haven't seen that video. So, I mean, I've seen it, but I haven't seen it in a while. The one I'm talking about right now, because Jessie made multiple videos about Tamar and JR. Then on a follow-up video, she discussed how she stopped being friends with Tamar indefinitely because of that toxic relationship between her and JR. It was affecting her, that like being around her. And then something happened between Jessie, her friend, and Tamar, because I think Tamar believed that her friend wanted to do something with Jessie's friend, and then she threatened her. It was just a lot going on. I'm gonna see if I could get a clip of someone else explaining that portion of the situation.
Continues. Tamar Braxton is now responding to Jessie Woo, who says that when she worked with Tamar, she would be obsessively talking about Kandi and how Kandi is not a good person. If you didn't know, about a year ago, both Tamar and Jessie Woo were sort of exchanging jabs at each other last year over something that Jessie Woo said on her YouTube channel, then released text messages of alleged threats from Tamar. And to be honest, if you really want the full context and the full story and the history between these two, check out my YouTube channel.
I can tell you from working with her at Dish Nation, immediately whenever Kandi would be a talk, whenever Kandi was like in part of pop news, she would always say stuff like, she's not a good person. I know that's your girl. I know that's your girl. Like, it was to the point, even like hair and makeup, when she would bring up Kandi, hair and makeup would be like, yeah, okay, yeah, we know she ain't a good person. We know. Like, it's like, we know. But she could never give us why Kandi was not a good person. It gives Amanda Seales and Issa Rae. The way that Super Chat just clocked it gives Amanda Seales and Issa Rae. You know, when you just don't like somebody, you've had awkward interactions with somebody, but it's just not enough for you to just say, you know what? I don't like that person. But you have to go on a media blitz to get everybody not to like that person. Tamar is to Kandi what Amanda Seales is to Issa Rae. Same thing. It is the same thing. It is the same thing. And she could never say what Kandi did to her. And every time I see this come up, I'm just like,
oh, of course, Tamar hasn't seen a beef that she's not going to respond to. She took to her Instagram story to post several receipts on Jessie Woo and what people have said about working with Tamar. She posted this, reminding us that Jessie Woo opened for her Love and War anniversary tour. You can read below. She posted what people have said about working with her at The Real. Then she says, they are so mad, laughing emojis. How the F I keep winning? Yeah, da 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 da. Tamar then alleges that every time she releases music, that's when the drama comes. Girl, I think you are the drama.
So the clip that I just played is Tamar basically trying to, I guess, expose Jessie Woo for allegedly lying on her. So I'm gonna try to be nuanced. So on one hand, I can see where Jessie is coming from because of Tamar's obsession with this white man. It was getting to the point where it was creepy. And I'm saying this as a person who follows Tamar on Instagram, and I am a fan of Tamar. The behavior between her and that white man was very toxic, but also uncomfortable to see, because Tamar, she tends to not tolerate people's bullshit, but she was tolerating this white man's bullshit. So it was weird to see. I do agree, yes, I understand on that part where Jessie is coming from, and her friend who happened to get involved in this situation. However, on Tamar's part, I understand how she feels about how now that she's not getting along with Jessie, Jessie talks about her on the internet, and then with Jessie having so much power on social media, people were able to figure out, oh, okay, you know, it's obvious who she's talking about. Even though I believe on this specific video, she made it clear that she was talking about Tamar. By her mentioning Tamar directly and using, I guess, Candy, because her and Candy, they have some type of beef right now going on, it triggered Tamar to give a response, but also to say, hey, that's not true. I'm actually a good friend because I did this for you. I made you open up on the show. We worked together. You said that I was a good person to work with. So she used that against what Jessie Woo was saying. So that makes you wonder, is Jessie Woo saying one thing to get the public to like go against Tamar, or is Tamar using this to go against Jessie Woo? We don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Jessie Woo was telling the truth, because she's in close proximity to Tamar versus any of us who do not know Tamar. And then the way, like I said, Tamar was acting out over this white man and tending to be the problem child on her family. Jessie Woo versus Tiarra Monet. This one caught me off guard because I'm not familiar with Tiarra Monet, and I didn't even know that they had like a fallout. And this was, I believe, in around 2024 going to 2025, this fallout. To summarize, Jessie and Tiarra, they were mutuals, they were friends. They were trying to do like a business adventure between them two and two additional influencers that I'm not going to mention by name, but you probably know who they are. And if you see both of their comments, you kind of can figure it out on the YouTube videos. But yeah, because of this, I guess, business adventure they were trying to do, it ended up falling off due to disagreements between friends and business partners.
I go and I click on Victim Girl. Can't find it. She has me blocked. So I'm just like, so you're in this group chat acting like we cool. You're like, what? Then you create this other separate group chat. But not like, but you block me, you, and then it was around that same time, it was a friend of mine who's a mutual with other friends that she's not friends with anymore too, that was like, girl, she sent me like a TikTok. She was like, is this TikTok about you? Because I told her about the group chat, told her about whatever happened. Is this TikTok about you? And I'm like, it might be, but I know she's not friends with this person. I know at least 4 other girls she stopped being friends with this year. So I'm like, it could be about anybody, to be honest. Like, it could be about any of us. It really could be about any of us. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I had experienced these type of like outbursts and covert control and switching in past friendships. So I was just trying my best not to let that dictate how I was feeling in this moment. Like, I don't know if that's what this is. I don't want to assume, want to handle this differently. No, I'm just trying to do things differently. Like, I don't know these people. Like, we're getting to know each other. So I knew at that point that boundaries would have to be in place. But honestly, after this bat, things were never quite the same. And this is when I realized present day that I was no longer a friend, a homie, whatever you want to call it. I was now a target for calling her out in the group chat. And I really think she was just waiting for me to slip so she could justify the narrative that was already forming in her head. So I noticed one of her threads about friends and love bombing. And again, I said, like who's love bombing her, babe? Because I have eyes. And I genuinely was curious because, not being shady, like who, babe? Like who? Oh, okay. I also knew the timing was interesting because this is the same girl who threw me, a new quote unquote friend, an entire party. So this is just more for timeline and things I realized post blocking her and ending the friendship, by the way, just whatever. So the weirdness starts getting louder. She starts talking like around me in the group chat, not to me. And again, I am trying not to take things personally.
Jessie and Tiarra were both petty to one another, and this made their friendship fall to pieces even more. That's when the two of them made response videos about one another, with Jessie Woo starting, and her video came out 5 months ago, whereas Tiarra's video came out a month ago. My opinion on this, to make it very straight to the point, is that sometimes you're not going to get along with everyone. Jessie Woo has her side of the story. Tiarra has her side of the story. However, between the two of them, there were both inconsistencies. And if you see a few comments that I pull up for this video, you would see that certain people, besides of them figuring out who they were referring to, but also learning about the controversy because of it popping up on their algorithm randomly. There were people even saying, you know, sometimes fallouts happen with friends. Sometimes you gotta find ways to, like, where you can stand. Sometimes you can even make up, you know, things along those lines. But for what it looks like, these two are not going to be friends or business partners anytime soon. But who knows? Anything can happen in 2026, because 2025 is about to end very soon. Julie and Steve, take 3. So there is a division between Jessie Woo, Haitian artists, and Haitian men. Obviously, not every Haitian artist and Haitian men despise her. However, I do see that Jessie had issues with Harmonique. Basically, Jessie Woo exposed Harmonique for not paying her residuals no credit in their song Pap Ka Separa.
Clarify something, because a lot of y'all are tagging me in this whole Harmonique stuff, right? I wrote on Pap Ka Separa. I can show you videos of them agreeing to put me down as a writer. I didn't realize that they didn't put me down as a writer until after the fact. And this was like around the time that the Christmas shows bookings were starting to come in. And so imagine, I don't have my writing credit on BMI, and these niggas had the audacity to not want to pay me, to not want to pay me to perform, to not want to get me my travel arrangements, okay? I can also show you videos of them coming to Atlanta and basically begging me to do Pap Ka Separa. When we did the video, they didn't pay for nothing. I did my own hair, my own makeup for the video. Them niggas didn't want to pay for nothing. Their manager especially didn't want to pay for nothing. And so then when it got time to start performing, I'm like, yo, I need to get paid for this. Like, and I need my stuff to be done in order. Like, flights need to be arranged, and not no flights that I have to go fight for a seat. Because even like when we did the video, their manager sent me a ticket with no seat and told me, oh, when I get to the airport, I have to find a seat. No, bitch, send me a ticket with a flight, with a seat arrangement. So mind you, they have a song out there that I'm not getting credit for. They used me for the video. They didn't want to pay me to perform, and now they have another girl singing it on their album. This is just an example of why Haitian music is where it's at. Y'all are ugly. You do ugly things, and you do it to your own, because you would not do that to somebody who's not Haitian. And you know what's the saddest part? Me and Mac D connected because I reached out to Mac D because I saw people threatening Mac D online because he was talking about the whole Jovenel Moïse thing, and he was talking about who he thought killed Jovenel. I reached out to him. I was like, hey, like, don't say anything, like, be safe. I even started these Zoom calls with a lot of Haitian influencers, like trying to get us together during everything that happened last year. You would think that me reaching out in that spirit, like, of camaraderie, you would think that they would appreciate that and they would treat me well. No, they got online and Mac D posted how I never promoted the song. You guys can go on my page. You guys can see how many times I promoted the song. He went on his page and said I never promoted the show, which is not true. Him and his managers are liars. Sanders, who was supposed to put me down as having credit for the song, didn't put me down as a writer for the song. Like, this is what your own people do to you.
So, Jessie, ou traduit 2 mots en anglais dans la musique là? Ou text senders on 50%. So kunya la, you are texting, you are tagging me on Instagram about whatever senders te gen ensemble avec ou fake tag moi. Just stop this crap. Suspend avec bagay ça. M'pa vle nan bagay ça encore. Okay? M'pa vle nan bagay ça. Suspend assign nom ensemble avec lui because sou vle m repost pou, I will repost it for you. And ou pa jam di moun tou le harmonique ti mette online que nous besoin background vocal ou te mande pour devine faire pour nous. You never said that. Then tap vin jouer et Amazura ou l'on mande apa nous pas apapa na Amazura et que on a cherché et female qui pour faire background vocal pour que ça pas tout font seul code.
Julian, Steve, take 4. Sorry everyone, I had to take a intermission due to the crackheads beneath me. Anyways, back to the video. When Jessie discusses her experiences with Haitian men, she's referring to her experiences not only with her father, but in general, whether it's a Haitian man she was dating, a friend of a friend, family members, etc. So that is her experience from growing up. Is that bad? No, because she's speaking from her experience. Yes, generalization is a problem, but at least for what I've seen, there were times she did say certain positive things about Haitian people in general, especially Haitian men, but she's going to keep it real with her audience or friends or whoever she's going to talk to about the whole subject matter. Some of you are going to have your opinions about that. Well, she has her own.
Technically speaking, Haiti is a part of Latin America. A lot of people don't know that, or a lot of people don't want to accept that. So do you consider yourself an Afro-Latina?
No, because I don't consider myself Hispanic. Okay. But am I Latin? I feel like I am Latin because that is where the language is based. Creole is made up of French, Spanish, Latin. It's mashed up with all these different things that derive from Latin.
I guess it goes by experience too, and how you walk this earth.
Right, and how I was raised. I wasn't raised in a Latin home. Like I wasn't raised, with that culture.
So I definitely want people to just see the beauty in the country, and I feel like we don't have a good narrative, and I feel like God's blessed me with this platform. Why not go back to Haiti? And vacation doesn't only have to be about my song or Moods of a Cancer, but it can be sort of like a campaign. Like I want everybody to come to Haiti. Come to Haiti, man. Like, come vacation in Haiti. The people are beautiful.
The food is amazing.
The women are gorgeous. The men are beautiful. Some of them, they be having 2-3 families, but that's all right. We still gonna put up with them. Come to Haiti. Like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I think that people need to see that. Haitians can't shop at the market till the last hour of the day when all the good produce is gone. Wait till they find out about the peasant villages that they have Haitians in. We're literally one people.
On the same island.
We're one people.
Yeah.
The revolution, even though it wasn't televised, it was broadcasted from the Dominican Republic, modern day Dominican Republic, which tells you that Haitians and Dominicans are one people. It's just some of y'all learn Spanish, some of y'all learn Creole, some of y'all got French, but it's literally we're all the same people. Why is there such a big divide? So I think between that and then, just mainstream media, and then Haitians just really not organizing ourselves too, because then we have to take responsibility too. We got to be more organized. We gotta show the world what we want the world to see.
I ain't never been with a Haitian man before. What y'all saying?
You never been with a Haitian man?
Never.
Don't do it.
Really?
Don't do it. They'll break your heart and your Gucci.
Uh-oh.
That Zozo's different.
I would like to see it.
Girl, Haitian men is not for the weak.
Really?
They're not for the weak.
I mean, Yoruba men are not any better.
They're not any, but Haitian men are sweet too, but you gotta be careful because they're gonna come with side families.
Kids.
They have side families.
Kids.
Not just kids.
Baby mother.
Side families.
Oh.
They have the ability to love you and to love a whole other family unit.
Marriage.
Commenter A states, I'm 43 years old, was born in Haiti. I've never had a separate family. Was with my first wife 6 years. We had 2 girls, got divorced, took custody of my girls, met someone 2 years later, and got married. I've been with my wife now 16 years. So please don't disrespect us good Haitian men like that. Haitian Barber Shop LLC states, I understand that Jessie Woo is Haitian and personal. I am proud of her for always representing the culture. However, when it comes to talking about Haitians men, I don't believe she's qualified when most to not say all the men she has dated are not Haitians.
The man who didn't want to acknowledge that he was Haitian and was quick to tell y'all he was Puerto Rico and Pinata, and he was saying, what was he saying? Pinata de casa, or something like that. What's going on with this Legley's jacket? You like you going to Legley's. 2.5.
People have been saying that it sounds like Jessie is talking like a woman who didn't have a family unit between two black parents living in a stable home. Jessie has talked about having childhood trauma between her father and her mother. Of course, she has way more issues with her father versus her mother, and she has never like been afraid to admit it, which is not a bad thing. And I feel like certain people who do not watch Jessie's interviews or other videos, they wouldn't know this stuff, which is understandable, which is why you're here and I'm talking about it. Even though her parents at one point they were together, they separated, Jessie's mom got remarried. When you add that in there, it's like you have to understand that she's coming from a place where she can see from her parents' mistakes, and then even from her mother's mistakes with her new husband. She's gonna have these perspectives when it comes to these relationships. In both stances, they had family units. However, the family units weren't perfect. So I guess people do not see where Jessie is coming from when it comes to talking about these discussions, or when being very direct when it comes to black men who do wrong things, whether it comes to them exclusively partnering with non-black women, talking down on black women, being a stereotype when it comes to black people, or overall just not doing good for the community. So we have to understand where she's coming from in that area.
You're talking about the you talking about the Kevin Samuels video. I did that on YouTube.
Yes, talk.
Yo,
Why
I did
do you
that on
think
YouTube, and it's honestly, I didn't even realize it was going viral until people started messaging it to me. Because one thing I did recently on my Instagram, I did it to where if I don't follow you, you can't tag me. I love that feature. I love it. I love it. It's enhanced my experience because people will tag you all day in foolishness. People will, it's just stupid. But anyway, I mean, listen, it was a video that I did about not only Kevin Samuels, but just a lot of content that's coming out lately. It just seems like a lot of these men are obsessed with humbling black women, with rating our looks, like just saying a whole bunch of things. And I don't see a lot of content coming from these men that are curating this dating advice where it's uplifting to black women. Like usually, like Black women literally just saved the Democratic Party. Black women are the reason why Georgia just turned blue. Black women are always at the front lines of every social injustice movement. Like Black women, we do a lot. We give birth to you, mans. Like we take care of you. We pass around y'all mixtape. You know what I'm saying? We love y'all when y'all hairline is uneven, and when you got that damn beer belly, we ain't out here dragging y'all. So I just feel like a lot of the content is not necessarily positive when it comes to Black women. And I just feel like a lot of men project a lot of their self-hate towards Black women. This is so nasty.
Jesus. This is bad. This is disgusting.
Do you find
he called Black women militant and unfeminine, and he said that Black women were replacing Black men, and he's doing this as he's embracing his white wife. Just be with your white woman. Why you gotta, like, I feel like things really haven't changed. Things really haven't changed. Things really haven't changed. If you look at just how Black men get online and talk about Black women now, and then you go back, this is civil rights era.
It's kind of the same thing like me. People complain about whenever I criticize Black people overall on my channel, and specifically Black men, even though I also criticize Black women too. People don't like that. So sometimes you have to have those uncomfortable conversations, whether people want to hear it or not. And that's why I'm gonna still doing what I'm doing. I already know Jessie's gonna still do what she is doing. I just feel like people need to just listen, and if it bothers you, you either A, voice your opinion in the comments and explain why, or just not engage. That's what I do on certain videos where I feel like I have nothing to offer and I don't feel genuinely comfortable because of the content I just saw. Jessie Woo's pastor, Jamal Bryant.
And they got married in 2002. The math ain't mathin'. I'm confused, girl. Girl, we gonna circle back to the fact that he had a baby in 2000 and they got married in 2002 and she said they was friends for 2 years.
This man is an interesting man. Jamal Bryant is a famous pastor based in Atlanta, Georgia. Jessie happens to be one of his members. I do not know exactly how long Jessie has been a member of Jamal Bryant, but I do know that she defends this man. I couldn't get the specific clip for this video where Jessie's pretty much defending Pastor Jamal Bryant, but people on Lipstick Alley and Reddit voiced their concerns. Actually, no, specifically people on Lipstick Alley and on my YouTube community tab post pointed out that Jessie defends this man tooth and nail, even when he is doing corrupted stuff. These corrupted stuff that I'm mainly focused on right now is infidelity. Jamal Bryant has been unfaithful for quite some time, and people voiced their opinions on that on YouTube.
2016, in between referring to a group of Black pastors who met with then-President Donald Trump as prostitutes and pawns, did he lie though? He made headlines again after a Los Angeles masseuse named LaToya Odom accused him of getting her pregnant. The pastor asked her to terminate the pregnancy, but she refused and gave birth to their son, John Carsten Bryant, in July 2015. Lord, how many children this man got? A paternity test later confirmed that the pastor was indeed a pappy, making him the father of 6 children by 4 women. Due to his lifestyle and many of his teachings that some think go against biblical scriptures, many have called for the pastor to sit down, which is a term used in the Christian church that means he needed to stop his ministerial duties to protect the integrity of the Word of God. Sit your ass down. As a pastor, he is responsible for theologically influencing the lives of his congregation. And while some think he's out of order for the example he sets, others continue to flock to his services. It appears that adultery and creating multiple out-of-wedlock children are no longer seen as taboo in the church, and parishioners are willing to turn a blind eye to a pastor's character flaws on the basis of forgiveness and extending grace.
I'm going to say my opinion right now. Do I believe that you have to judge people for where they want to praise God? No. would I be comfortable to know that my pastor had a dark past where he was unfaithful to his wife, then started serial dating multiple women, having multiple kids out of wedlock, and essentially making broken homes? No, I wouldn't. However, after seeing Jessie's interview with Pastor Jamal Bryant, I realized that she has a specific bond with him. I did remember seeing Jessie's live stream where she was praising Jamal Bryant and talking about how they have a connection because of him genuinely caring about Haitian people and donating when she asked for help. Just being there supportively and trying to make her express herself on his podcast.
Played by watching even like piano and all that. Like I would play by sound and watching people. And there was one time where like our drummer didn't show up. And my mom, like she knew, like I would play with the drums like after church and stuff. Right. And she's like, Jessica, bon, the drummer's not here, ou même, monte sous drums you. Right. And like next thing you know, I was on drums every Sunday. I was like, oh my God, no.
I didn't sign up for this.
No, but I became church drummer. And then like when I was 9, I started my own kids choir. And, like,
no way.
Yeah, I was very like involved. I grew up in church. But I really wish I did have like my dad and my mom. I feel like that would have been a beautiful experience. But you know, it is what it is.
No, everybody's road is that. My parents have been married for 54 years.
Wow.
My grandparents were married 62 years and 64 years on both sides. My parents built their ministry around family and marriage and have done books on marriage and how to have a sustainable marriage. And both me and my sister are divorced.
Yeah, how do you feel like? Because you said 64, then 52, and then you're like, you single.
Yes, neither one of us made 10. Neither one of us made 10 years of marriage. And my sister's a therapist, Dr. Tamar, Bryant, shout out to you. Both of us, we were in a conversation over the holidays that our marriages probably didn't work because we tried to get as far away from our parents as possible. So we were looking for mates that did not remind us of our parents in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, wow.
And then we have to add, he got married again. And that was one of the things that Jessie wanted from him, for her to attend his church. So as you can see, they have a very tight bond. And she genuinely sees something in him that we, that are judging, do not see.
These niggas chasing me like waterfalls.
Only because I like people to have the right information. So let's hit this first one, Jessie Woo, shall we? No. That has everything to do with your moral character and how you treat others, which honestly, girl, I'm wondering about you at this point in time. Point number 2, I did not help Cassie season 5 or 6 of Love is Blind. If I had, this would make me even more furious. Why? Because I'm one person in an entire collective group of people. It is a long process. If you think I have some wave of the magic wand to make some final decisions, you are incorrect. All right? More of what I do and more of my expertise is really helping people feel more prepared and more ready to take on something like this. All right? If it's all adding up after countless interviews, psych evaluations, questionnaires, I trust that people are experts on themselves. Okay? So get your facts straight. We're putting this to bed. Also, Jessie Woo, joke's on you because you're still watching it, girl. Good night.
Okay, Susan B. Anthony, you really thought you had a hit with that one. I'm actually going to show you how to clear it. Okay? So take notes. First off, I'm going to address the things that you conveniently left out of this video because of your Karen behavior. So I reached my satirical conclusion that you're the real villain because of casting, due to the fact that when you watch the reunion, the lattes present you as a casting figure, someone who is part of casting and has been in casting.
At no point in time during the reunion do they specify your time frame. So, as a viewer, if I am watching the season 6 reunion, and here you are as part of the bonus couples who have come back, and someone who has been part of the experiment, and now you're part of casting, I am going to assume that you had a part in this casting that I am currently watching, okay? Most of the internet reached that conclusion because that is what was shown. Now, immediately after I posted this to my threads, Tiffany, who was also part of your season, came into my comments and she said, not too much on my sis. She wasn't actually a part of this season's cast. So once she posted that, I immediately posted what she said and I issued you an apology. And I know you saw it because people tagged you in it, but you conveniently left that out of your video because it wouldn't fit your Karen narrative. Now, I want to address.
When it comes to the beef between Jessie Woo and Chelsea, I'm going to be honest, this could have been preventable if Chelsea actually looked at Jessie Woo's page before commenting, making a video about it, and just putting it out there. Because one thing about Jessie, she is not going to hold her tongue, especially if it's a white woman coming for her. I'm not going to judge. I understand why she chose to answer back to Chelsea this way because of her response. It was very snarky and it definitely very weird. But I feel like Chelsea had some animosity towards Jessie before the whole situation because of her commentary between her and Kwame, I think that's his name. So I guess because of that, she has this vengeance against Jessie right now. And that's why she projected that in that moment instead of just seeing the receipts of her apologizing to her. When it comes to AD and Ashley, this whole situation could have been resolved if they just own up that what they've done to like bash Jessie was wrong in advance and go from there instead of just trying to like dogpile on Jessie and Ricky. Story time with Ricky, they were genuinely being supportive of them too, but instead they chose to like retaliate against them and just talking badly about them.
When it came to the social media stuff, it was so dark. It was unlike anything. We're still just very normal people, and so my nerves were ragged, honestly, because I knew that it was going to be a headline again.
Well, people were preying on your downfall.
They were preying, oh, we told you so. You know,
in the most cruel, disgusting a way I have ever seen people prey on someone. And it came from, again, inside the house.
Yes, it did.
And I don't want to say no one's name in particular, but there is a very loud presence on the internet that just, it was almost like she was just sitting there waiting,
checking.
You know exactly what I'm talking
daily.
about.
Yes. Checking daily.
Waiting.
Yeah. I think that they kept hiding behind the fact that it was for the kids. It was for the kids to justify how they were. And that's the thing. They were coming at me more than him.
Yeah.
Like I can't rationalize that because it doesn't make sense to me.
It's because you were so
bold. But even in that, right?
Yeah.
It's still not my act.
It's not.
You know what I mean?
This is leave out. For you to use a conversation centered around Liler, who abandoned 3 children after he conned 4 women, 2 landlords, and an entire network, while you sit across from your twin, your bird twin, who has been calling those kids who he abandoned sperm donor babies. For you to use that platform, for you to use that conversation to call me disgusting and to call my actions disgusting and cruel, but never, ever use those words to describe Liler. So that is, and not only is that raccoon behavior, that is an insane level of pick me that I have never seen in my life.
Yeah.
I have never seen that level of pick me.
Right.
You're a knitter. Like, you are a whole knitter. A whole knitter. The call keeps coming from inside the house. What house? I'm sorry, Ricky. I'm gonna let you get to it. I just need to get this off. What house do you be talking about, AD? Because at my house, my man is not hiding 3 children.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's how they felt about Jessie Woo and Storytime with Ricky's coverage of the whole situation between Ashley and Tyler. But still, that was a poor move because now you have people that pretty much are not going to genuinely support your podcast, AD, and just going to be there to cause division, if not hate, watching you. And if it's not those 2 reasons, they are just not going to be watching your content like that. Jessie's a big platform and now she's getting bigger. So that was a lost opportunity for them to like connect, do interviews with one another, and chop it up pretty much. So now that's not gonna happen. Yeah. Oh.
I'm too fucking nice. I'm too fucking nice.
It be fucking me up. I'm too fucking nice. We need to talk about Jessie Woo's ableism allegations. Now, Jessie happens to call people dumb and or slow on her live streams, and she does it multiple times.
Right.
Kenya has nothing to do with that lawsuit. Y'all are slow.
She has everything to do
Y'all
with
are slow. Like, and that's another thing. I just feel like
and
a lot
she will
of
be
y'all
named in it. She won't be named at the top, but like when they make the notes, it's going to be said person.
Her name is throughout the lawsuit because she's the one who committed the act. Y'all are fucking slow.
We talked about it.
And just so we're clear too, Justin is not the one saying slow. I said it. I'm gonna tell y'all. Y'all are motherfucking slow. And that's a select group of people. You're slow. You know I'm talking about you. If you're not slow, you're not offended. But to you slow motherfuckers, I want you to be offended because you're offending me with your fucking slowness. Like, it was on television. We saw it. Like, we saw how everything went down.
I love you, Jessie, but you were like, I love Latinos and all that other stuff just a few weeks ago. You're dumb. You're fucking dumb. Reading comprehension was a course we had in grade school. Yes, Sean, we need to bring that back as adults. Thank you so much, Sean. Man, I don't know what you fucktards don't understand about the words that are coming out of my mouth when I say this. I know that comprehension is a very lost art. And a lot of y'all just don't have basic comprehension skills.
I cannot say alleged because I've seen it. That behavior is not okay, but at the same time, calling people dumb, in my opinion, it's not bad when it's needed. However, there are certain times when people either maybe miss some parts of the live stream and or they not sure what's going on, and instead of like educating them, she would belittle them on the live stream. And I get it. As a content creator, people can be annoying, especially because Jessie is a big content creator. However, there is a time and place to talk to people, and you cannot be talking to people like they are just acting dumb on purpose. Some people are just not entirely paying attention. Some people are probably lost in the sauce. They don't really know much about the topic. Or some people, they probably genuinely just acting dumb. Before this footage got cut off, what I was trying to say on this portion was that you cannot be a bully when it comes to how people talk and or express themselves, especially if the person allegedly has a form of a disability. Jessie Woo has been stirring up the pot when it comes to season 9 contestant Edmund. If you're familiar with my series Night Thoughts with Julie and Steve, which, by the way, you should follow me on Instagram and check out the series. It's really good, in my opinion. Anyways, I've talked about Edmund before. I talked about his very weird behavior and his socially awkwardness on television. Am I going to bash him for things that is out of his control? Because if this is genuinely how he is, no. And if he is on the spectrum for real, I'm definitely not going to be judging him, which is the part that we have to talk about here. Allegedly, Edmund is on the spectrum, and one of the people to say this is Jessie Woo.
I'm too fucking nice. I'm too fucking nice.
You be fucking me up. I'm too fucking nice. I'm too fucking nice. You're fucking weird, yo.
I'm too fucking nice. Right post that moment. And like I've been saying in my previous reviews, I, at the very least, do not believe that Edmund is emotionally suited for this experience. I just don't believe that. I do have an unpopular belief that he might be on the spectrum. And let me say something. I think that some of y'all just like to argue with folks because y'all would say, oh, can y'all please stop diagnosing people and saying they're on the spectrum because you see them behaving weird. It's not about behaving weird. It's about a behavioral pattern. Not once have you heard me say that Edmund is weird. Maybe you think he's weird, but please don't put words in my mouth. Not once have I said that Edmund is weird. I'm too fucking nice. Even in that, he's saying it like over and over and over again. If you just watch the way he communicates, he says the same thing over and over again. You know, I just see him not recognizing social cues the way other people would. Like,
this is my opinion. I believe that we shouldn't be diagnosing anyone, especially if we don't have the expertise or if we're not sure about it. And as of now, Edmund has never disclosed on whether or not he's on the spectrum. All we can do is assume based on his behavior.
I eat my boogers. Might be a little too much, but I do eat them.
There was some daughter-in-laws, they go rat me out to my sons. Yeah, can't stand it. Don't go rat me out on my son.
I don't know. Edmund and his mother, they need therapy. They have a lot of healing to do. It's a lot of healing to do before we are looking for a wife. This is just not the show for Edmund. Edmund needs to be on Fix My Life, Iyanla, or something else, be in the pods with a therapist or a psychotherapist, somebody who can help him wrestle with, you know, these pains, these growing pains. Because the more his mother was talking, the more I was like, damn, I think Edmund is stunted. Like, I think Edmund is still a child.
Which, I get it, people have their concerns and or just genuinely wondering, is this an act? Is he genuinely like this? Or if it's all of the above. I believe we shouldn't be diagnosing people only because of my experience, especially online. I genuinely experienced this online, not really in real life, where people try to diagnose me on being on the spectrum. Yes, a couple of people have done that. Not only on YouTube, but even on Instagram. It happened a couple of times just because of me being socially awkward, being very chill, my videos, you know, sometimes I don't really speak too fast, but that's because I don't want to speak too fast sometimes. So I guess because of these reasons, people question whether or not I'm on the spectrum. And I'm just using an example because some people also say they feel a comfort in me because they see certain stuff that I do that reminds them of people on the spectrum or people that have autism, which, you know, I don't mind that. That's not bad. My issue is when people are diagnosing people because you don't know. Even though, according to experts, I don't have autism nor ADHD because I had to take those exams when I was younger. But I'm not gonna get into too much details on that. But that's according to experts. We don't know what Edmund has, so I understood why certain people were mentioning this to Jessie about why they don't feel comfortable of her talking about it too much because we don't know. But people are pretty much just like, nah, it needs to be disclosed by him. If he wants to say it, that's one thing. Or if he is thinking about taking the exam to figure out whether or not he is on the spectrum, he can do it. But we as consumers, we cannot dictate what he has and just keep assuming online. While Jessie is being humorous when it comes to discussing this topic, I can tell she genuinely cares because she cares about Cabria, I believe I'm saying her name right. If anything, I'm just gonna say KD's experience on the pods, but at the same time, the show is called Love is Blind. If you're going to be on a show called Love is Blind, you have to be willing to date anyone, basically. Of course, you could have your, I hate this word, but I had to say this word. You can have your preferences, right? That's not bad to some extent. Or if you prefer to date someone within your same racial and or cultural background, that is also not bad. The point of the show is to give people a shot, regardless of their background. And show Love is Blind, they do allegedly examine the participants before they put them on the show, but sometimes things just happen. We cannot judge Edmund for being who he is if this is genuinely who he is. And if this is not, he is a good ass actor because I'm going to be honest, I cannot fake half and not most of the shit he has done on camera. So I don't know if this is real or not. I believe this is real, but what I'm saying is I know certain people do not. Some people are iffy about the whole thing, but I believe this is genuinely how he is.
I don't expect her to bring Huda on her podcast to have her denounce what her racist fan base has done to Shelly and Olandria.
Jessie Woo versus Love Island Superfans. This situation is pretty gruesome, so I'm going to try to explain it as cohesive as possible. Jessie has been talking about Love Island the whole summer because it happens to be one of the popular shows on Netflix when it comes to dating during the summertime. Of course, she had her issues with the dating show like any other person would have. And one of the people she had a huge issue with was Huda. So Huda is a fan favorite to some people, and her superfans tend to be anti-black and or racist, or both of those things. And they were attacking Jessie Woo because of a specific interview she did between her and EJ, and basically they were talking about the allegations that Huda put on her father on the Call Her Daddy podcast with Alex Cooper.
It's like, I feel like she was saying that her dad, I don't know what she was saying because she never said it, right?
She insinuated it. We all know.
She insinuated that her father was inappropriate with her when she was a child, but she never really said it. She said that her entire family doesn't believe her. Now, here's the thing, right? A lot of times when this happens within families families tend to not want to believe it. Like this happens all the time. But again, because she's such a pathological liar, I just don't know.
I honestly, I kind of do believe that happened. Let me explain to you why I believe that happened. Because I'm gonna be honest, I did wanted to say, this was one of the first things that I did want to say. Huda sexually coerced Chris on multiple occasions. In the state of the law, sexual coercion is sexual assault. So let's speak in the terms of what they want to speak in. Huda sexually assaulted Chris. Chris was uncomfortable on multiple occasions, and she tried to villainize him when he didn't get her way. Let's speak in the terms of they like to speak in. Huda wanted Chris to be her sex slave, and the moment that he didn't want to be her sex slave, literally wanted to ruin his day.
She explained that her father was inappropriate with her. She didn't directly said it, like he sexually assaulted her, but she was alluding to the idea that he may had SA her. So Jessie and EJ were talking about that. And then people got offended because they felt like Jessie and EJ were laughing at the fact that Huda may have got SA'd by her father.
But when the stuff with Steph with the deets took off, it went silent. It went silent. And I tried following up, no answer. And I just decided to just not push it because I'm very mindful of how people have talked about Shelly and Olandria. I saw that Olandria went live with EJ the other day, and the way they attacked her for that, and dragged him and used my live with him again to lie about us laughing about an essay that never was discussed. But yeah, like that really hurt a lot. Like, obviously, because I didn't laugh. I didn't say I don't believe anybody about being essayed. There was never an essay story that was revealed, that was discussed by Hula Hoop. When I go back and I watch that live, like I watched that live several times because I'm like, where did we laugh? Where did we say we don't believe her? Never said anything like that. There was nothing to believe. She never said she was essayed by anybody.
As a person who saw these live streams while they were coming back to back during the summertime and rewatching some of them to make this video, I believe that the super fans of Huda were misconstruing things that Jessie and EJ were saying just because they do not like their commentary on Love Island, but specifically on Huda, because Jessie was going hard on her multiple times due to the fact that Jessie goes hard for the black contestants, specifically the women, aka Chetty and Onandria. People do not like that. And one of them happens to be the super fans of the show because they have something against Onandria and Chetty.
No more. I don't want to see her. I'm done. I'm so happy that this season is over. And to be honest, I don't think I'm going to watch next season. I think that the way Love Island handled the black folks this year was truly disgusting. And I feel like there was enough discourse out there and enough publications, enough education placed out there for them to come back with this reunion and edit it correctly. And they chose not to. They chose not to. And I think that was very, very intentional to paint Ace, to paint Olandria, to paint Shelly in certain lights.
So they don't like that black people are defending them publicly. And I genuinely think it's not okay because they were even threatening Jessie's life and she talked about it. And I even tried to defend her on a YouTube show that I did. I did 2 YouTube shows about this topic. And one of them I talked about them threatening Jessie's life. And that's not okay. And because of that, she had to mute her comment section. One of the people who happened to participate in this hate train was a creator by the name of Steph with the Mess. Now, I'm gonna say allegedly, even though There's receipts out there, but to save my behind, allegedly, she did this.
What we're not going to do is invalidate someone's essay story and laugh about it.
Open up the schools. Open up the schools. Open them up. Open the school.
I watched their full live, or the most I could find of it because it wasn't the easiest thing to find. I do apologize for not looking for the full live before going based off of a clip. The clip was sent to me. That is still not an excuse. I should have looked for the full live. But what I will say is I'm not apologizing to a person. I'm apologizing for not watching the full live first.
Steph with no deets, okay? Listen, people are surprised that Steph with no deets has such a long, big following. Why y'all surprised? The people that follow Steph with no deets are like the same people that follow Huda, the MAGA cult following, okay? The Triple K Caroline Levitt following. It's the same. It's the same people. Ignorant people like to follow these types of people. They're filled with hate, okay, evil, and darkness. Why you got surprised? I'm not. Don't be surprised. Ignorant people like to follow ignorant people.
Everyone who has sent me this video I'm about to show you, and here they talk about how she trapped her baby daddy.
No, bitch. Nah, puss asshole, don't change your tone now. Because in your original post that you made on TikTok, which has over 2 million views, you told 2 million people that AJ and I laughed at Huda being sexually assaulted when we never did that. And what you also failed to tell 2 million people were that Huda herself never said she was sexually assaulted. And what you also failed to tell 2 million people in your original video was that Huda and Alex Cooper, the call her daddy lady, actually laughed at Huda sexually harassing Chris, right? We all saw that. But you failed to call attention to that. But you were so ready to use your platform to lie on EJ and I. I wonder why. I wonder why. Because when I look at your makeup of your content, it is clear you go after black people a lot. You attacked Serena and Janae last season. You've done the same thing with Olandria and Shelly this season. What you did was irresponsible, it was a lie, and it was defamatory. It was defamatory. What you did, literally because of your video, EJ's family members have received death threats. I have received death threats because of what you did. But I'm going to tell you something about Jessie Woo. And I love that little nickname you gave me in your video too. Wendy Woo. I love it. That was real cute. Let me tell you something. When I am done with you, Stephanie, you are going to regret the day your mother didn't swallow you. When I'm done with you, it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but I'm coming for you. And I'm coming for you hard. Y'all need some real men. They both left with one. They both left with real men. She left with what?
So Jessie Woo has been called out for being transphobic, allegedly. Commenter A states, I'm sick of Jessie Woo and Navi. I will not be explaining further. Do the research and come to your own conclusions. Commenter B states, whoa, I had to unfollow Jessie Woo after the violent transphobia and repeatedly doubling down on it. But I guess I need to go look into Naveen. Thanks for the heads up. Commenter C states, let me look into her history of transphobia. Commenter D states, she does not have a history of transphobia. She's probably referring to Jess Hilarious. Now, I know that Jessie has been an advocate for trans women, as she called out Jess Hilarious about 4 to 5 months ago because of her being transphobic. However, just because you call out Jess Hilarious doesn't mean it's okay for you to be transphobic to Caitlyn Jenner. I know that Caitlyn Jenner is a bigot to her own demographic, meaning trans women. Doesn't mean that it's okay for us, being transphobic back to her. That should be a standard, but unfortunately, certain people who do not like people, in this case, like Caitlyn Jenner, they want to project that onto the whole demographic of trans people. I do want to say thank you so much for the creator who told me about this whole situation, because the creator happened to follow Jessie Woo on Instagram, and because Jessie Woo wasn't listening to her, she chose to unfollow her and let her be. So props to her for allowing me to get this information, and the people who made the thread related to this subject matter, because I didn't know about this. Julian Steve, take 5. Concluding statement and the outro of this video. If you didn't notice, I am a fan of Jessie Woo. However, just because I'm a fan of somebody doesn't mean I'm not going to hold them accountable for their actions. And I know people, or certain people, are going to believe that I have something against Jessie Woo, that I don't want to see her succeed, or that exhibit a different example of why they do not want to hear what I gotta say about her. But I do believe that we need to talk about uncomfortable conversations when it comes to people that we put on a high standard and just want to see them succeed on their endeavors. How are these individuals going to succeed if they continue to throw people that are fans of them under the bus and not wanting to hear from them? How? That's why I believe that we need to hear from people criticizing people that we like in any format. Of course, not in a toxic way. I'm meaning, like, if you're a fan of somebody, you need to criticize them, especially if you see a pattern of behavior, but also explain to people why certain things are happening to them. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just pointing out the inconsistencies of whether the consistencies or inconsistencies of the storyline of situations going on. That being said, I wish nothing but the best for Jessie Woo. However, I do hope that if she ever stumbled upon this video, I hope she takes this constructive criticism well, even though I don't believe I was harsh. But I know some people probably gonna think I'm being harsh. It is what it is. I said what I said. So yeah, we could go to the outro. Thank you so much if you made it this far in this video. I appreciate you. Be sure to like this video, comment, share, subscribe, and hype this video if you like this video. That way more people could get recommended to this video within a week. So please hype the video. Tell me, like I said, tell me in the comments, what do you think about this subject matter? Was this your first interaction with Jessie Woo? Let me know below. Okay, mi gente, okay, mi gente, okay. Thank you and peace, mi gente.